match we have ahead of us today. Coming into this tournament, I was big in FaZe up, Des. As you know, I was just saying, this is a team that has been underrated for a long time now. They have not achieved what they are capable of, and they've come in here, and boy, have they shown us at times what they are capable of. Damwon Kia were able to run them close yesterday, and it's going to be an even bigger step up today facing off against NiP. Let's see if they can get the job done when it counts most here in the grand final. We're going to have Thatcher and Nomad as our first two operator bans.
I'm thinking for the defensive bans, Valkyrie's going to come in here, and then, I mean, I want to say Amira on Coastline, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a Wamai get removed from action. NiP dealing with FaZe Clan. I would have said maybe an Echo against him, but no, it's going to be a Kaid, actually. Interesting. Yeah. I was incorrect, was wrong, and I am happy to admit such things when they happen.
As rare as they may be, Parker. Kai coming away. A number of teams have been playing this recently, right? I mean, look towards the defenses that you see inside of VIP these days. Lots of teams opting to electrify it from below in the room itself. We saw G2 in EUL throwing those Electroclaws outside the map to try and get the wall kept closed. It's a big focus point, and I just think it saves the attackers a lot of time, which is why, although it's quite a niche pick for a specific site more often than not, you do like to see some teams taking it away. Blue Bar and Sunrise going to be our first site. And with that mirror not being taken away, or the Wamai, we are going to see both of these in round number 1, Ace.
We certainly are. NiP going to kick us off on the defense. Going to be going downstairs, and as the desk alluded to a little bit as well, Coastline, a very good map for NiP. We were all discussing before we came out here what maps we might see, and with them being able to pick first, we did have a feeling that NiP might just choose to pick this one up. So FaZe are going to have to find a way. But the thing you've got to remember here is that FaZe are more than knowledgeable, they are more than used to playing against NiP. They play them plenty back home in Brazil, and they're not going to be scared of going to Coastline. If you can't play on Coastline as a Latin American team, you don't make it to the big moments, you don't go and win tournaments like the Copa Elite 6. You've at least got to be functional on this map, even if you try and avoid it sometimes. FaZe Clan, they're going to kick us off on the attack. Nothing drastically unusual on the attacking lineup. Keep an eye up on Twitch there. Cyber coming in, going to be really important with those drones, potentially as that counterplay to the mirror.
It's interesting the amount of Twitch that we've seen on this map in particular, and if you pull up the operator presence rates, Mira's ban rate on Coastline hasn't actually quite been as high as we would have usually expected, which enables that Twitch play. And on LAN, there are weapons that hit very differently than they do online. For the teams that play predominantly on LAN, you're going to see more Roni play instead of the Commando. You're going to see more of that F2 from Twitch because that thing just absolutely melts. And the changes to the drone also, a massive difference.
Oh,
There's no limit now anymore on that zap, so you can take out mirror windows from much farther away.
Ask Tim. I'll basically pour my heart out about Twitch every single broadcast. I'm in love with this operator. I'm in love with nades going flying. The first kill of the grand final to Cameraman onto Psycho. FaZe starting things out well, and that was all inside the first 60 seconds. Probably going to be some heads to get scratching there when you look at it and go, a Wamai on board, a Jaeger on board, but people are still dying to nades early on.
This is it, and it's an important kill to pick up to begin with. The Wamai, of course, gaining those magnets over time. There's a lot of utility just been lost along with a body as well, and it allows FaZe Clan to start thinking about the positioning around the map. They're getting themselves established in Aquarium already, Parker. They can start working that verticality now.
Yeah, you got Julio down below as the smoke was we're halfway through this round, and it is a very curious decision to not have any of that anti-gadgetry over in Hookah. Like you said, another grenade goes off this time, and Cameraman's botching the engagement upstairs inside of Aqua. For a brief pause, his attention will be elsewhere. Second domino from NiP now falls. That's Pino out of action. So while the attention of Julio, nice shot on Astro, is over towards Camera, it means that the remaining two players from NiP are in dire straits, and very easy for them to be collapsed upon. But hold on a second, lads. All of the killing is happening, and there's still a minute left to go in the round.
They've got good control of Office here as well. The south side entirely in FaZe's control with 60 seconds to go in a 3 versus 2. Muzi on a slither of HP. You know exactly what happens. As soon as he gets hit by a single bullet, he's out of this round, and that could leave Kamikaze stuck in a 1 versus 3. That mirror window being taken out by Cyber this late in the round as well is going to be invaluable. They can't hold blue as comfortably. One sat around pink, one scattered out towards bathroom. It's a bit of a split coming in. Cyber holding the one, waiting for the push to come through. But a small retreat here as we we enter those final 30 seconds.
There was a bit of me itching for the Twitch drone to take a shot at Muzi there. Obviously, they've no way of
Why
knowing,
not?
but would have probably downed him. Took the mirror window, which was the smart play. Souls, smart as always, getting in there, getting that diffuser down just inside of the office wall, and it's now up to NiP to try and turn this one over. Man count and time working against them. Muzi, he's going to go down. Kamikaze goes with him. That's going to be the opening round going to FaZe Clan.
Really remarkable stuff with how FaZe Clan were able to read the openings in the defense from Ninjas in Pyjamas. At this level of play, in the very first round of your best of 5 grand final, to not have a Wamai Magnet or an ADS positioned up inside a hookah right here, that is negligent on behalf of Ninjas in Pyjamas. That is a rookie mistake, and a team like NiP should not be committing errors like that. Now, they almost narrowly salvaged the round. We've talked about it a number of times, multiple times in NAL. The most dangerous lead in Rainbow Six is a 5v3 because you always get somebody who gets a little bit cute and tries to push in. They get taken down. I really liked what we saw out of FaZe Clan here. They were able to circle the bomb site. They cleared out that top floor. They kept them busy. They took office and they waltzed into the bomb site, forcing those last 2 players from FaZe out.
24 hours ago, I would have agreed with you on the 5 versus 3 thing, and then Rogue showed how to spectacularly throw so many 5 versus 3 rounds. It was ludicrous, and NiP showed they can fight back from it, but of course you're against a different team in FaZe who seem a little more composed in those situations, at least today.
In all fairness, that Throgue title and nickname is well earned on a number of occasions. And I would say that there were opportunities yesterday where...
You know what I'm trying to grasp here, by the way? Based on where you're standing between me and Ace, like, I'm the devil of the duo, right? And he's the angel, always Mr. Positive. What I want you to do throughout this whole TriCast is just move up and down the line based on how you're feeling at any given moment.
If I support Dez, I'm gonna... You can't see it on your screen right now, but if I support Dez, I'm just gonna take a step to the right and align with him.
It's okay, you're not going to stand over there for long.
We'll see about that one. Round number 2 coming underway, and we're going into Penthouse and Theatre. I have so much love for this site at the minute, because for the longest time, teams will go here, they will get absolutely decimated, and be reminded, yes, never play this site ever again, thank you very much. But of course, with the recent changes coming in, VIP being more defendable, part of the reason why the Kai ban has come through here, more teams are stepping into playing this site. Castle also with the 4 armor panels on side now means, hey, it's a bit more defendable. You can dig in a little bit deeper, and I'm excited to see how it plays out, Tim.
Well, this is it. We've got the castle panels in place. It just changes this site up a little bit. Obviously, Bikini speaking about castle before we came in on that pre-desk, and we'll just have to keep an eye on FaZe and how does it impact them. For now, we're seeing all the pressure from FaZe is going to be mounting towards the VIP side. They're trying to get themselves established in there, inside a Hall of Fame, to try and work over from there. That's going to negate a little bit of that castle utility, but the castle barricade that's been played in between sites could become particularly important then.
This is a bomb site as well, where as you can see, the setup from the defenders, they've opened up most of the walls and all of the avenues to the bomb site and off of it, the hallways to get there, the avenues, the pathways, so that they can rotate out effectively. For the teams that are right now playing on attack, your focus is to open up those walls. The defenders want all that utility to be wasted outside so that you can't use it when you get into the building.
The last team I saw with this kind of setup got relegated from EUL last I checked, Tim.
I think they might have done.
Just maybe. Heroic, the first ones to really employ this kind of very open setup and play heavily around 90. No shields, space around there means it's a little bit harder to defend as well. It's normally what we'll get used to seeing. We'll see how this one plays out, at least from here. They have got some presence on 90 here, NiP. Dug very much around white and down towards the south with 1 hanging out inside a hookah and billiards and looking to cause trouble. Psycho strikes out towards that side of the map. Down goes cameraman. The nade's taken with him. And suddenly it feels a little bit more rosy if you're an NiP defender.
FaZe just haven't been able to get themselves established inside of the map yet, Des. They're basically still trying to fight their way in and gain any sort of comfortable control of VIP and Hall of Fame. Just now, Astro is able to put some work down from the bathroom. He gets himself the opener for FaZe onto NiP, leveling things up at 4-4 now, but still, the pressure keeps mounting. It is the 1 point of ingress that FaZe have managed, and Astro has hit them for 2.
And now with both of them down, the upper hand goes to FaZe before it swung back in favor of Ninjas in Pyjamas on that even footing they found. Utility, not really there right now for FaZe Clan. So what do? Lots of killing to be done in these final 25 seconds. A drop from Cyber will be heard over by Luggage. He's got the attention of one of the players from NiP that's posted up by Penthouse. Julio, meanwhile, off-site, watching for a potential flank through Aqua. Nitro cell from Pino, but he knows it's not going to connect. Cyber caught out by Julio. He'll continue to charge forward, but Bullet's out of time. He needs to get into the bomb site quickly. Cyber, just right now, on a wing and a prayer, but he does it all himself. The final 3 kills for him, and my, what a tail end of that round for FaZe Clan.
Cyber's done this so many times throughout the competition. It's ludicrous how much you can get away with it in a single week. Massive push down 90, finds himself a 3K in the round, closes things out. But I do want to touch on FaZe for a moment here. Yesterday, we looked a lot in their game against Dan1Kia. What a banger that was, by the way. At how many drones they had left and how little time was actually being spent droning. It happened there again, where prior to the smokes coming out, no drones going on. Smokes came out, still no drones going on. Smoke dissipated, still no drones going on. They were just not very keen to get the drones out and collect information, and that's why I thought Psycho would find himself a freebie inside of Hookah and Billiards, but Cyber, he hits his shots, Julio doesn't, and you see how things pan out from there. But a bit too chaotic for me. FaZe, they can do better than this.
NiP, they're going to be frustrated with themselves. There's no two ways about it. There's about 15 seconds left to go. There were 3 versus 2. Julio inside of Hooker there. I've got to say, cost them the round. That's the reality. Cyber goes in there, and he's absolutely no idea that Julio's there. He goes in pretty much blind, and Julio has the opportunity, but misses his shots. And as we see, the rest of the round is all from there, goes downhill. But there was a man on double window. That was the only other presence that they had on Penthouse. You're not winning that round from there at that point in time. So it all comes down to that fight with Cyber. NiP maybe suffering a little bit of nerves. I wouldn't have thought so. It's plenty of big games like this now. You would really expect them. You know, they're one of the most experienced teams inside of Siege, realistically.
In defense of the Goyo of Pino, who's the one that got taken down inside of Theater, by the way. His focus was on where Bullet was dropping through that double window, as you talked about, in the Penthouse. Now, the question that NiP needs to ask themselves is, when that rappel comes in, the player from FaZe Clan, Bullet, is he going to go for objective play, or is he going to push the advantage? Because at that point, there was only 7 seconds left. Bullet swings in, and you get Pino looking in the direction of Cyber, which could have been the right call. But then if they don't get the diffuser down on behalf of FaZe Clan, you've now got Bullet doing the same thing that Cyber did, just from a different angle. And the result for NiP ends up being the same.
I love this setup. I always talk about it. Since the kind of rework has come through where you can't just plant inside of the service entrance door, you actually have to go into service and get the plant down, making you work for your wins, essentially. You now have defenders playing inside of security and lobby. This is, please.
Or the bomb site.
Please, just push in, get 3 kills, make it 2. Why not make it 3 on the way through, FaZe? You've already started off. And even with this defense coming in on the south side, FaZe have destroyed NiP. Julio not even a part of the round, and this one's over before it's already begun. 4 kills inside 60 seconds. They find a hole and FaZe go in.
Now, I know it's going to be easy to potentially blame Julio again, Tim.
No, I'm not going to blame Julio.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's settle down here, boys.
I'm on the Dez side right now, if you can't tell. Julio does play, for those that aren't the most familiar with NiP. In this particular round, Julio's going to be playing far off site because he expects his team to be able to do what they need to do, and then he can get back to the bomb site when there's 45 seconds remaining, or even catch one of those split players off guard. In this case, Cyber and the rest of FaZe assessed that there was a very easy avenue into the bomb site, and as you were in the middle of talking, only a minute into the round, Dez, Cyber was large and in charge. He had Astro not too far off for backup, and like that, 2 players from NiP are picked off, and neither of them even understand that FaZe have made it into the building.
It all comes down to main lobby. There's absolutely no pressure on main lobby from NiP. Cyber literally just walks in for free. He doesn't even bother checking in, Parker. He doesn't need to. He just takes his bag straight to the room.
The receptionist was on a lunch break.
Absolutely. He just makes his own decision about where he's staying and goes straight in there to the kitchen. It was just so easy for them. Usually you'll have a player in and around maybe sunroom security that's going to look to challenge onto reception and to main entrance. They just didn't have it in place. They took their eye off the ball there and they got punished for it. Cyber heads up play there, though. Obviously information coming in from those drones as well to say, look, that avenue is clear, let's go for it. If FaZe are going to keep taking their opportunities like that, NiP, they're going to really struggle to put the brakes on here.
So we called out as being the issue, right, was ultimately the drone work, and this time they get on the drones, they find the opportunity and take it with both hands. Much better out of FaZe. That being a very convincing round, NiP are yet to really wake up into this series, and let's not forget, this was their map choice. They chose to come to Coastline, but so far the defense is not what I'd call convincing, Parker.
No, I would agree with you right there. There's been some small things from NiP that become much...
Can I just say, your hair is fantastic.
Well, I didn't do any of it myself.
See, sometimes I look at it and I just think, what a bush, it's a mess. And right now, it is just like wonderfully curly and beautiful. Yours is great too, Tim.
I was going to say I'd give it a solid 9 today, but I was obviously talking about my own, so...
Okay, let's, speaking of 9...
No, he's one short, you can't use that. He's on 8.
I will... No.
Yes. 9 players left.
There's 9 players left,
Des. Quick maths, come on.
Come on.
Now there's 8, now there's 7.
I'm not quite sure what is going on right now, but for whatever reason, FaZe have decided 2 rounds in a row to not slow down. They're trying to speed run this grand finals at the moment. They walk in, they take out 2 players from NiP. The good news for NiP is that they at least answer back, and this is a telltale sign of a strong and confident NiP team. Discipline has been the word to describe NiP throughout this entire event. How do you break a disciplined team? You make them panic, and you put them in uncomfortable positions, and FaZe are doing a remarkably good job of that so far.
You play for chaos, and that is something that FaZe are always going to do very well. They have it in the locker. They added the strategy game at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. That's when we really saw the evolution of this roster, taking it to the next level. But when you come to a map like Coastline, and they just need to fall back onto that panic creation, that chaos, they are quite capable of doing it. Psycho, he knows that the man is in there just ahead of him. He's had a sunroom, but he's not going to push to make that challenge. He's going to dip himself away for the time being, keep himself safe, and that gives control of Office over to FaZe Clan. A man advantage still for NiP. They're sitting back a little bit here, which is pretty much an NiP game plan. Get yourself the man advantage and then fall back and play the longer lines of sight, play your angles, but they're going to have to find themselves some kills because there's a lot of time left for FaZe to work with here.
That smoke coming out was all a ruse. They're back on drones, just using it to try and force some action out of NiP, maybe looking for any C4s remaining to be consumed. The one that's currently sat in the mirror, behind the mirror window, the one they're looking for. Psycho, he's out in the flank out towards front lobby as well. He could hit them on the side here if they're not too careful, but they push their way in. They're going for the push straight in towards Pinky. Can they find one? No, Kamikaze with the shutdown. Cameraman has got to do it all, but Muzi doesn't give him a chance. NiP finally get themselves on the board.
It seemed very clear to me that the initial focus for FaZe, take map control early on, box out NiP, make them panic, and then from that point forward, punish the remaining players of NiP as they get back to the bomb site. But that initial push was not as successful for FaZe as they wanted. They grabbed control of lobby, but the bomb site's the double bars. So what do you do next? You have to take security. You have to clear the top floor, especially if you know that NiP is up there inside of Hookah. A bomb site, by the way, that hasn't been played by NiP to this point. So instead, NiP decides to retake. Lobby position still held by FaZe Clan. And all of a sudden, you've got NiP pushing back into the lobby. You've got NiP going to the peripheries, and FaZe were not anticipating it, whether it was poor drone work, whether it was bad communication, I'm not entirely certain, and it forced the team that we said who've been scrambling the most, which was NiP, to now be the most stalwart. And it was FaZe Clan who scrambled. They had no idea where the last players from NiP were, and they got picked off.
Heading into round number 5 then, we're going to see NiP taking us up to the top floor again. It's going to be Hookah this time around rather than Penthouse, which we saw from them up on the top last time around. They've got Oryx this time. Going to be Julio bringing him along. As you said earlier, Parker, Julio's role often within this team on the defense is to just get out into the map, keep himself off the radar, and try and have that mid to late round impact. Oryx could be a great operator for him to do that with. The ability particularly to jump up the hatches will be an important one, as you can see, going around the map, getting those opened up. So keep a close eye on Julio when we get towards that 1 minute remaining mark, and we'll see exactly where he's playing and how much impact he can have.
This is a 4th bomb site now being played out as well. Every single one trotted out by Ninjas in Pyjamas here, and a pesky run out from Muzi is available. 2 silhouettes in front of him. We know that information, he doesn't. If he decides to hop out, that MPX can be particularly damaging, and here's the rappel go. Cameraman punished by NiP. So they realize and read into that aggressive style of behavior that we've seen from FaZe, and instead NiP say, to hell with discipline, to hell with patience. We are going to set the tempo now on defense. It didn't necessarily occur in any real rounds until now, but it's already netted them the first kill.
Absolutely. A little bit fragmented to start things off, and FaZe are now slowly starting to converge up towards the northeast side of the top floor. Looking a bit in towards service entrance, but a couple looking towards the roof and also the rappel. It's about getting themselves inside the building to start things off. We're only about 60 seconds in, but getting that basis to start moving your way forwards, clearing the map out, should be the focus for FaZe. However, I think that entry kill has slowed things down a bit for them, especially given you've lost the Jackal, whose role really was to deal with these would-be roamers downstairs in kitchen.
Astro just going to hold on to that long line of sight from the VIP VIP double wall there. It's one that I absolutely love. You get the VIP wall opened up through corridor. You can hold all the way into billiards table. Now Souls, he's going to hold Muzi down and he's going to find himself a headshot onto him. That's going to put us to a 4 versus 4. Pino underneath could still be a bit of an issue here, but Souls is the immediate problem for NiP as he continues his march across that top floor, finding himself a second kill. Now then, FaZe need to be particularly aware of these two players down at the bottom of White Stairs.
Two of these players from NiP inside a lobby, and you're a bullet or two away from certain death, so they'll head back to the hills. Right now in office, they've got a long run to get back up to this bomb site. So that'll leave just one player to stand and remain in that position for NiP. 1 minute to go here in this relatively crucial round for NiP. For FaZe Clan, a victory signifies that they take that first half with a minimum 4 rounds.
I like it. They haven't chosen to stay out in the map here and be aggressive and hope to catch FaZe on the flank, which admittedly Psycho did only a few rounds ago, almost inside a hookah. Didn't quite find the kill, but it was the right sort of idea. Here they're dug in a little bit deeper and pull back, and they find Souls, the man who was turning into a Soul Reaper in the round, only finds the 2 before he's shut down, and we're into a 3 versus 3, Tim.
NiP really looking to close this out. They've got themselves bunkered down on site now, holding those angles. FaZe, they are pushing from multiple directions. Cyber, just off camera, is getting himself up onto that double rappel. We've got one inside of luggage, one inside of 90 corridor, but it looks like the rotation is coming in. It's all going to be focused to Aquarium now in these final 15 seconds. A good double from Cyber once again. How many times are FaZe going to get away with this? How many times are NiP going to let Cyber dictate the round? Bullet able to get in, start getting that diffuser down, and that's going to be the final kill from that man once again. 3 at the end for Cyber to close things out for FaZe.
Well, his scoreline before that killing rampage that we saw at the tail end of the round was 9-1-1, and somebody certainly needed to call the police on that man, so...
Wrong continent, Parker.
Where am I from, Des?
You're from Canada.
Very good. So if I was to call the police, what would I do?
I have no idea. What is your number?
911, that's what I just said. That was the whole...
Is it in Canada as well?
Oh my.
I think it still works. Does it still work in other countries? Or is it what? There's a number that works like...
Yeah, hi, there's a crime in Sweden. Hi, yeah, we're based in the States. Can't really get a team out to you. It'll take about 12 hours.
You don't get put through to North America.
Maybe we could airdrop some police officers.
I don't think it is that. I think there's like an international number that's like recognised. I could be wrong. You'd have to look it up.
Yeah, you'd have to check.
I forget that it's different. I forget.
112 in Europe, I've just been told.
Well, okay, great. I'm glad the production is filling in on this information. My point!
Make sure you check locally.
My point. Gentlemen. They're both laughing. You can't see it or hear it. They're both laughing right now.
We brought you into some British chaos, mate. What can I say?
I mean, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Arca's also stood absolutely dead central at the minute. He's having nothing to do with that.
I'm actually backing away.
Yeah. He's stepping off the line. That's how you know he's done with it.
The one thing that really impresses me about Cyber is one thing that I always give major props to Nesk for is another Brazilian player that he might know who Nesk is if you watch the show, is that Cyber is extraordinarily good at playing on his own. There are only a couple players at the top level of Rainbow Six Siege who are capable of just having this innate knowledge and skill set to find their way in, know exactly where their opponents are, and anticipate their plays. Cyber is definitely one of them. So while the rest of the team are focused on doing this utility work, he's very capable of fragging out, and in 5 rounds, he's put up an impressive 12-1.
FaZe on the drone game once again, just going in there, grabbing the intel wherever possible. The Twitch drone's going to be taking some of that utility down as well. We've got quite a widespread defense from NiP at the minute. We see them all around the map. We've got Julio out in Sun and Security. He's just going to move himself through Office, and that's an area to keep an eye on. It was something that FaZe managed to take advantage of last time. As Julio pushed up into Blue Bar, it did leave that gap in main lobby, but this time they've got a man inside of the 90 corridor that should prevent any problems like they saw last time with anybody just wandering their way into bathroom. Now then, Psycho gets himself inside a Sunrise, and he might just find himself getting challenged very soon.
I was going to touch on what we just saw. There was a soft wall left next to the reinforcement that has a way for Psycho to get out of dodge if things start to go south. But hey, he's going to frag from his position. Cyber finds one, immediately traded off by Muzi. And these teams, well, like I said, they want to get home, I guess. Astro with a big kill on the Kamikaze, holding us back into a 3v3. Muzi still watching this rotate created. And now it's Psycho's turn to fall. Astro picking up the pieces. Now that Cyber is out of action, somebody on FaZe has to don that mantle, and it seems like it's him.
It's just crazy how everything's kicked off inside of Sunrise inside the first 90 seconds or so, right? I mean, FaZe burned through drones, and I was going to say, when my turn came round to speak, we've gone through about 75 seconds, and they're down to 4 drones remaining, but they just pull the trigger, and they say, let's make it happen. 1 left alone inside a courtyard, and he should be able to close this one out pretty easily. Parker's looking like an angel, but we all know there ain't no Halo there. A 1 versus 3 for Pino, and I think we know which way this half's going to end.
Absolutely, FaZe have got site locked down here. They are established inside a kitchen, and there's a potential opportunity for Souls to be getting this diffuser down. That's one criticism, and the only one I could really make of this FaZe attack. A number of times I've noticed they get themselves inside a site, they get it locked down, they've got control, but they choose not to get that diffuser down. The final kill comes in from Souls, absolutely fine. He was stood inside of a position where he could plant the diffuser for about 20 to 30 seconds there. FaZe, you might just want to take those chances when they present themselves. Don't hold off, don't wait for those kills, because NiP, they've got some serious gunners, and they can win out those fights.
Looking a lot like ninjas in pajamas now. They look truly asleep and ready for bed. It could be a quick one. It carries on at this pace. Boo! Boo! Welcome. Indeed, very, very quick first half, though. 5-1, rounds being over inside 2 minutes. It has been lightning quick, and again, for many looking at NiP coming into this map, I think Fresh said on the desk, this isn't really in FaZe's wheelhouse, but they're showing they're pretty ready for the ninjas on this map.
Absolutely. A 5-1 first half for the team who did not pick this map is pretty good, irrespective of whether it's a defender-sided, attacker-sided matchup, etc. And the one storyline that has emerged whenever a team plays Coastline is that this is a 50-50 map now. It is a coin toss as to whether the defenders or the attackers will walk away with an advantage. So, if you're not seeing a 3-3 scoreline, a 4-2 is not terrible based upon what the operators are banned and what's available for the teams and how well they match up. But a 5-1, when you look at these operator bans, there's nothing really weird about them. Kaid, Valk, Nomad, Thatcher, these are pretty standard bans on a map like Coastline. It really shouldn't be a 5-1 in favor of FaZe. It really goes to show that they're the better pair of players.
Have we got some weird way of saying things are going really bad that Parker wouldn't know in the UK?
I imagine that going south is probably a global thing.
Yep.
It's going south.
Well, you're going down towards Texas, right? Things can't be great down there.
Going south.
Or Florida.
Or that too.
Better climate.
That suggests that going north is great, though.
But the Gators...
That's very true. I went to Florida, and it's the weirdest thing because you sort of know to expect it.
Just going to Florida is just weird.
No. You sort of you know to expect it, but when you drive down the road and there's like a massive alligator at the side of the road, you have this reaction of like, is anybody doing anything about that? Do they know about this? And nobody seems to care. It's the weirdest thing.
That's just how it is down there.
Strange people.
Hot and humid all the time. They care more about that than the Gators. So, very first attack now for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They got some ground to make up, gentlemen.
I promise there is something I did want to talk about in this round, and not specifically about alligators for about 2 minutes. It's the fact that they're committing to bringing the Bandit in this round for Souls, right? We spoke about the Kai ban and how it will help you, normally keep the wall closed up. If you're playing Bandit, you're playing to actively trick because Kai is much slower. It's a lot easier to put down these batteries and deny walls away. Here, they should be able to keep that closed and the 90 wall at the same time.
This is where a Zofia would be critical, and there was a reason why Astra was on that Zofia, 4 of the 6 rounds, is that you need the disruption to trick players out of their positions. If a Bandit is going to be Bandit tricking this wall, you need that Zofia stun to push them out because you can't shoot from down below, and unless you get control of Cool Vibe stairs, there's not much you can do.
And this is it, we've said it for the longest time, if you allow defenders to stay in their positions, you're allowing them to play in their ideal spot because that's the one they choose to play in. So as an attacker, one of your primary functions has got to be disrupting that defense, forcing them to move around, and that's not something that NiP have been able to do yet. FaZe have barely moved from their starting positions. Bringing along the Hibana, absolutely fine, but it just plays in to Bandit's wheelhouse because it is the easiest trick out of all the hard breach operators.
The thing is, they've got Muzi on the Ash as well, so if they were really wanting to get hold of VIP, they absolutely could, and now he's dead because Bullet's doing the one bullet thing. It's why he's got the #1 in his name. It's all too easy to take down the one operator that I look at and say could have done real work for them. Sledge has got no frag grenades left on side. They can turn towards the 0, but I have to ask questions here as well, Parker. We're about 2 minutes into the round since the teams have all deployed on. They've started running around. Julio has still got all 4 cameras in back pocket. What purpose are they serving right now? They aren't. That's the answer. I'll give you it nice and easy.
I mean, but NiP's usage of utility being improper has been a huge focus so far for this matchup. We saw in round #1. How do you let a grenade go out with no gadget clearing when you've got a Lamai and a Jaeger on the board? It was literally the first kill of the series here, lads. So, I mean, these are questions. These are definitely questions for NiP that... I'm sorry, what was that?
Lads.
Lads. But hey, I mean, NiP is fighting back. They just charge right in. I guess you don't need utility if you've got guns. Diffuser is down, though, and you've got the final boss
Cyber,
of Latin
please.
America right now. Cyber inside of Aqua against Pino in a 1v1. Will Pino get there in time? 6 seconds. He definitely can. But Cyber knows this. Coming around the corner!
Oh!
He pulls it off again, and it's match point for FaZe.
Even I was watching that thinking, Pino knows where he is, he wins this. Like, he comes out, and then Cyber, just in that last half second, gives him the little juke. Just absolutely dives out of cover, swing or be swung.
Can we talk about this lads thing? Say lads for me.
Lads.
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 Right, lads. I don't know. You got to say like not air, because I don't know. You put a really weird sort of sound on the A, Parker.
This is what it's like, Parker, standing next to Dez. He's just continually critical of your accent and speech.
That's fine.
I mean, you know, he's
I'll live with it.
made a meme out of many things that I said. Many things.
I'll never forget that first laser gates clip.
Laser gates.
You don't understand how pronounced he said it, because he was proper like, she's got these things called laser gates. Like proper gave it some welly, and I was just like, I'm really meant to ignore
like
that.
anybody, when I'm on broadcast, I do tone down my regional accent a little bit because I understand sometimes I can be difficult to
Turn it on.
Sometimes I can be a little bit difficult to understand. So
Did he change it? I don't hear it.
No, he didn't.
things like
He thinks he turns it down.
Things like I say again instead of again, so I'll say again on broadcast, so it makes more sense. But yeah, when I get hyped and excited, it goes out the window a little.
Apt and excited. See what I mean?
The same thing about Nick too, by the way.
Nick,
Nick, when Pengu would get excited, you could hear it come back full force in his accent. You know. For me, the small like Canadianisms are like out instead of out, or tomorrow
Oot instead of out.
Oot. It's more like out. Gonna go outside.
I thought you were quite well spoken.
Like a roundabout.
And now my whole perception has been shattered into a million pieces.
I'll start with the lads thing. Anyway, well, we banter back and forth. The very first map seems set to
Can we
done.
just appreciate, by the way, we're 7 rounds in, Cyber is 16-2. 16-2. Let me just say that a third time.
Absolutely ludicrous.
He's 16-2 in 7 rounds.
Saw what Yas did yesterday and said, my turn.
Anything you can do, he can do better. Cyber proving that he is the real deal, coming out with an awful lot of kills for FaZe here. Now then, Soul's going to take a chunk of damage inside of VIP. We are, of course, defending Kitchen here for FaZe Clan, so they're trying to keep hold of that top floor for the time being. They don't want to give things up to NiP too quickly. They are trying to push in there. They're getting themselves established on the DJ booth. They want to move in to VIP, but Cyber tries to hold on to it. Muzi says not today, though. Absolutely shuts him down with a headshot across the room.
If they end up winning this matchup, 16 kills will be good enough for Cyber. I think that's a pretty good tally.
Yeah. What's the kill record in a Gresta 5 grand final?
Well, we haven't had very many.
Yeah, so it can't be that high, right? Someone needs to get on that.
It's almost like we have a team to do that.
Yeah, it's almost like we do. That's kind of a call to arms to all the Twitter folk. You know, Grant loves his stats. I'm sure they've got a number for us somewhere. I'd be keen to know. It's something I should have dug up beforehand. Either way, FaZe are down a man in the round. Kitchen Service, of course, is the site we're putting all of our focus into. They've got all this bathroom area opened up as well. So again, if you want to play Dinar from the lobby side, you can swing out towards the right of the front desk and you can catch everything out. Or you can swing to the left and catch them out when they're actually inside of Service itself. So good options on side for FaZe to defend with. But now they're a man down, NiP can afford to take control of lobby and deny that away.
Bullets on the flank, and Muzi's keen to it. He knows it. Down he goes, and as NiP held an even greater numbers advantage now, well, it means that no flank is going to be possible unless you want to lose control of this bomb site. And that's exactly where the focus now shifts from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Adrenal Surge comes out, and all 5 remaining players will now circle the wagons around that kitchen bomb site.
Got 2 of FaZe actually holding off on the office and security side of the map at the minute, as you say, just I think trying to stretch this attack as much as they can. One has had to move back into corridor, and now you see FaZe Clan just taking the opportunity to try and have a little bit of presence inside the courtyard and reception main lobby to try and just prevent that NiP push.
Oh, he's holding up on the laser gates, as you could say. Inside a kitchen, another Adrenaline Surge is going to come out here. Well, there's the very first pick for FaZe Clan. And another toxic canister gets thrown down over towards Service. Psycho entering by lobby, and he's just losing his teammates. An engagement that he loses out on again. FaZe Clan are beating NiP now to the punch on every single engagement, leaving Kamikaze and Pino to twist and toil in the wind. Kamikaze checking to the right. He's smoked from the left, and Pino has 3 seconds to pick up the diffuser. It's not going to happen. How about about a 7-1 statement map for FaZe Clan to go up 1-0 in the grand finals.
Did we cast a few rounds of Siege there? I might have missed it if I blinked. I'm not quite sure, but that was such a quick and ridiculous game. And to me, you saw it at the bitter end there as well. Even with a numbers advantage, NiP are still looking for 1v1.